Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you can join me here today, and I hope you find today's session useful and beneficial. Now, I've been thinking about money recently, and money is very important in our lives. We all go to work to be able to earn money to pay the mortgage, to pay for the bills, to do things that we want to do, and it's important. And the thing is, most of us work just to earn money. Very few of us actually enjoy what we're doing, and if money was not an issue, then we probably won't do what we're doing. But besides that, when it comes to money and how we use our money, I recently read a book that was very powerful and that changed my framework on how I deal with money and how I approach money. And that book is called Die with Zero by Bill Perkins. I found this book a very powerful book, and it was very controversial as well because it went against everything that we have been taught and we have grown up with in terms of how to deal with money and work and all of these things that are important in life. Most probably we wouldn't want to do what we're doing, but we have to do it because we have all these obligations. And the problem happens is when we get distracted. We know this at the back of our minds that the goal is not to earn money. The goal is to benefit from the money we've earned. But in the process, we forget that and we get consumed in the goal of money, and we want more money and money, especially entrepreneurs who are running businesses, and they start seeing the first million pounds or $1 million, and then they want more and more, and then there just isn't the time to stop and reflect and see where actually you're going and why you're doing all you're doing. Now, Bill Perkins has an interesting concept, interesting worldview in his book. He says, as the title says, that we should die with zero. So when we approach our deathbed, because imagine this scenario. Imagine I'm on my deathbed and I've got £1 million in my bank account. And imagine I think to myself that I'm very upset and very sad that I never achieved £5 million in my bank account. You think I'm crazy because I'm going to die anyways in a few moments, in a little bit, and that money will not be coming with me. I mean, it will help me get the coffin for sure. It will give me a plot of land, but as soon as we reach my plot of land where I need to be buried, that's where money stops. Like the money will not help me. I know like things can happen after death as well, in terms of people can be memorials for you and stuff like that, but for me personally, that money will not benefit me at all. I can't buy a Jaguar with that money because I'm gone anyways. And that's the point he's trying to make, that we get so consumed with the idea of making money that we forget what we're making the money for, which is to enjoy life, to have those experiences, to do things that we want to do. And for example, if we are saving towards retirement, so let's say we work hard for 30, 40, 50 years, and then at the age of 67, for example, in the UK, which is the retirement age, we retire and we think to ourselves, okay, now I'm going to enjoy this money. But there's two problems with that. Number one, there's no guarantee. So I could die at 45 and never make it to 67. Okay, that's one, which means I've lost out everything anyways. And two is, even if I make it, there is no guarantee that I will have the health and well-being that I have now than I would have at 67. So here's an interesting chart graph here. So let me just zoom into this. And he basically says that as you grow older, your ability to do things decreases, and your health declines as you grow older, which is obvious. We all know that. But we tend to forget that when we are living life and we're trying to earn all this money, because we're thinking, oh, we have to do this because we have to save for retirement, again, which might never come, or we might not have the health to be able to do those things. So for example, I'll give you an example. I have a bucket list, and the top of my bucket list at the moment, I really want to do this, is skydiving. um, it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I really want to do it. And if I was on my deathbed, I won't be upset that I never earned £1 million in my bank account. I'll be upset that I never got to do skydiving, because that's on my bucket list. That's an experience I would have had wanted to do before I die. And maybe after this video, I'll probably look up skydiving, and see where I can do skydiving, because it's a dream that I want to fulfill and achieve. Or for example, I love traveling the world, and I try and see as many countries as I can, and I'd love to be able to dedicate a big part of my life traveling the world, because I enjoy meeting different people, seeing different cultures, trying different foods, and all of these experiences, you know, they contribute to your life. They make your life much better than your life would be if you just focused on the money and just trying to make a bigger bank balance and achieving all you can. Now, that's one side. Two things we need to look at before we actually delve further. The first thing is, okay, so this is a first world problem. I totally agree and accept that this is a first world problem, and Bill also acknowledges this. So if you are making ends meet, if you are in a position where you don't know where your next meal is going to come, this book is probably not for you yet, because this assumes that you have enough money to live day to day, and it's all about you saving up for retirement and for the future. So that's one thing we need to acknowledge, that this is a first world problem. um, it's a very sad way of looking at things, but that's a first world problem. So that's one thing to acknowledge. um, and the second thing is when we think about all of these things, we just need to make sure that we it's very hard to go down a rabbit hole and to become stupid when you use this concept or this worldview, because you'll end up moving to the other side where you blow all your money up, and then you have nothing left. um, Nothing left as you grow older, or when you actually retire, because you'll have used all your money up. In fact, one of the chapters in the book that Bill has is in chapter 9. He says, "Be bold, not foolish," and that's exactly the point where don't be silly, don't be stupid. Like don't waste all your money and throw it away thinking that I want to die with zero, so I'm going to like blow all the money away, and then when I actually reach retirement age, I have nothing left. That's we need to acknowledge that is a possibility. But I'm hoping that we are all sane, rational individuals. We've thought about these things, and we know that we need to save for a rainy day. We need to ration for the future. The whole point of this book is for us not to get consumed in money. And I'm going to make a separate video about money itself, because money is important, and it's important that we think about money in the right way. We need to really look at money and not let money take us away. So there's two extremes: one where you don't think about money at all, which is wrong, and one where you think too much about money, which is also wrong. You need to be in the middle. So I'll make a different video about that. But the whole point here is that we don't want to fall in the latter camp where we focus so much about money that we forget to live the experiences. And the whole point is he's basically encouraging us to go out and enjoy life, have fun. We have one life to live. Why would we waste our lives getting bogged down in all of these things that are not making us happy? Me having 1 million versus 5 million, I can guarantee you, will not make you happy. It contribute to your happiness, but the numbers increasing in your bank account, there's a certain amount of money where after which when money increases, it won't contribute to your marginal happiness or your marginal way of life, because you'll still be living the same way of life. Now, this book is controversial, and Bill acknowledges that there's two things that we should talk about, and I want to quickly touch on it. And the first is, what about your kids? And the second is, what about charity? Now, Bill has an answer for both, and I personally, I had a question when I was reading this book. I had those two questions, especially with kids. And Bill has a very interesting outlook. So he says, when your child is 50, 60, he doesn't need your money. He's already well established. But when he's 20 and he's trying to get up on his feet, that's when he needs your money. So why not give him give him the money when it benefits him and during your lifetime, than on your death? And in fact, I'm an accountant, so I say this from a bit of authority in terms of tax. So in the UK, for example, we have inheritance tax, and if you die, your estate is taxed at 40% completely, the whole estate. So whatever money you have will be taxed at 40%. I know there's an allowance that you have a certain limit, or like that you get taxed over. So the first certain amount will be tax free. But regardless, it's you get taxed on your estate. However, if you give a gift to your child, this is in the UK for it, so I'm not sure of other rules, but if you give a gift to your child, if you survive for 7 years, that gift, that cash benefit, does not incur tax. If you die within 7 years, then you incur tax, and it's tapered as well. So if you die between 4 to 5 years, then you pay a lower percentage. Between 6 to 7 years, you pay even lower percentage. But after 7 years, there is no tax to pay, because that is a gift you give to your child. So why not give that gift to your child when he needs it most, avoid inheritance tax, and still let him enjoy his life, and you can have pleasure knowing that he has enjoyed his life. So that's one thing. Second is charity. You say we leave part of our death estate, we should leave some money to charity, so when we die, it benefits us as well. But why not give charity while you're alive? I mean, it is much better to give 10% of your savings, 50% of your savings, whatever you want to give to charity while you're alive, because you can see the good work being done. Why do you have to wait till you die to give charity? You can still give the same amount you would have given on your death estate, while you're alive. You can still do that, and I think that's really important. So I think these two are controversial, and I think he answered them very well in the book. And if you read the book, and I highly encourage you to read the book, I hope you will be convinced too that we should be living in the present, in the moment, and enjoying our life now before it's too late. And I'd like to end with his concluding paragraph. I think it's a very useful and important paragraph, and I'm just going to quickly read it. So he says, I've given you an impossible task: to die with zero. You can follow every rule in this book. You can closely track your health and life expectancy, and you can recalculate your financials every day. Yet, you're never going to die with exactly zero. When you take your last breath, you might still have a few dollars in your pocket and maybe even hundreds more in your bank. So technically, you will have failed to die with zero. That's inevitable. It's okay. Why? Because the goal will have done its real job of pushing you in the right direction. By aiming to die with zero, you will forever change your autopilot focus from earning and saving and maximizing your wealth to live the best life you possibly can. That's why dying with zero is a worthy goal. With this goal in mind, you are sure to get the most out of your life than you otherwise would have. And then he says, I hope my message has at least jarred you into rethinking the standard and conventional approaches to living one's life. Get a good job, work hard through endless hours, and then retire in your 60s or 70s and live out your days in your so-called golden years. This is the rat race he's talking about. But I still ask you, why wait until your health and life energy have begun to wane? Rather than focusing on saving up for a big pot full of money that you will most likely not be able to spend in your lifetime, live your life to the fullest now. Chase memories, memorable life experiences. Give money to your kids when they can best use it. Donate money to charity while you're still alive. That's the way to live life. Remember, in the end, the business of life is the acquisition of memories. So what are you waiting for? It's all about the memories we make. Because when on my deathbed, I won't think about my bank balance. I would be thinking about the skydiving that I had in my bucket list, and whether I got to do it before I died, or whether I spent time with my loved ones, with my family. I traveled the world. I met different people, so different cultures. I won't care about whether I spent 20 hours at work, 15 hours at work, earn £5 million, or earn £1 million. I wouldn't think about that. I'll think about all the experiences that I missed out on, and that I wished I would have read this book and followed it to the T. So I hope that encourages you to read the book, because I think this book is very powerful. It changed the way I approach life and the way I look at things, and the way I approach money as well. And I think it will do it for you as well. So I hope you find this session beneficial, and I hope I have encouraged you to read the book, because I think you will love it. And until next time, I'll see you soon.